Who can tell me what do you think of when you think of homeopathic medicine? Well, witch doctor, that's one side. What's the other side? What do you think of? Homeopathic medicine, most people tell me that they think of herbal remedies, like St. John's wort, echinacea, and all that stuff. Oh, it's herbal, it's all good, right? A lot of people don't know that homeopathic remedies was created back in the... That's kind of funny, because now it looks like... That's kind of funny. All right. Back in the 1750s to 1850s, a guy named Samuel Hahnemann came up with the idea. He came up with the theory that like cures like. He also came up with the theory that all disease was created by syphilis, venereal warts, and the itch. Whatever that is. But here's the thing. Oh, yeah. So, okay, this part doesn't make too much sense, but maybe this makes sense. Well, like cures like. What does that mean, right? Like cures like. The idea is whatever make you sick in the right amount will also make you better. And it kind of makes sense, right? Because, I mean, after all, a vaccination, we give you a little bit of the disease, you build up an immunity, and then you're tolerant to the full-blown disease. Well, maybe. When it comes to homeopathic remedies, what they do, let's say, for example, you're allergic to cat hair. Then we're going to take a little extract of cat hair, and we're going to have maybe 1 drop of cat hair. We're going to put that 1 drop of cat hair into 100 drops of water. We're going to shake it up. We'll take 1 drop of that and put it in 100 drops of more pure water. And we'll keep diluting it one by one until you get the equivalent dilution of 1 drop of cat hair extract to 14 million oceans. Now that's diluted. It's so diluted that there is no way to detect even a trace of the original substance. And so Hahnemann's thinking was, okay, so this water is kind of like the opposite of the original stuff, right? No, it's pure water. And in fact, here's the amazing part, though, right? He gave these people the pure water, and he thought that the more dilute it got, the more powerful it was. And people were drinking pure water, and they were doing great. And the thing is, though, the #1 competition to therapy, medicine in the 1800s was leeches. So, of course, drinking pure water did better than sticking leeches on you. In fact, if we divided the audience and gave everyone the flu, this side we gave pure water, this side we stuck leeches on them, I have a feeling I know which side would do better, right? By the way, people say, oh yeah? Well, if homeopathic remedies is a bunch of hokum, how come they're FDA approved? Who can tell me what it takes to get FDA approval? Just raise your hand if you got a guess. Right here. I'll give you $1 for offering something. There we go. Actually, the only thing it takes to get FDA approval is you got to prove that it can't hurt you. That's it. And I'm pretty sure it's not too hard to prove that a sugar pill or pure water won't hurt you. Furthermore, so let's talk about something different. So now here's the weird thing. As nutty as the belief is behind homeopathic remedies, they seem to work. How many of you guys know someone who swears by homeopathic remedies? Yeah. Well, if it's just a bunch of hokum, how come it works there, Mr. Brian? Well, let's find out. Before we do, though, let's talk about magnet therapy. What do you think of when you think of magnet therapy? What's that? Oh, yeah, is Ozzy Osbourne into magnet therapy? I didn't know that. Yeah, you think of relieving aches and pains, right, with straps and all stuff. It was started by Franz Anton Mesmer back in the 1700s. He had this theory that all illness was caused by your magnetism being out of alignment. So he would put on these robes, and he'd sit someone down, and he'd wave these magnets in a mysterious way over them, and then they'd say they felt better. And he did great. Yeah, this is me being Franz Anton Mesmer. And then one day he got the idea, well, instead of using magnets, why don't I try just using some iron bars? And it was just as effective. And he realized that the magnets had nothing to do with it. It was the ritual of deciding they were going to get better that made the difference. And nowadays, magnet therapy is a huge business. It's a $5 billion health industry. You can get mattresses with magnets in it. You can get suits with magnets sewn in it. You can get wristbands, all that stuff. And if you ask these magnet guys how it works, they'll give you one of 2 answers. They'll say either it attracts blood to the affected area, or it aligns the water molecules to improve in circulation. How many of you guys have heard one of those explanations from somebody into magnets? Well, you know what? Both of these are testable. Because these magnets are about as powerful as kitchen magnets. So let's take this first one here. Imagine you took a kitchen magnet and held it up right here to your wrist. If that first claim was true, when you took the magnet away, what should you see? A hickey, yeah, or a redness, or a flushing. It's anything that indicated that more blood was drawn to the area. But you won't see that. And this one right here, there was one engineer from General Electric who said that water molecules jostle so much that for this to be true, we would need a magnet 13,000 times more powerful than any created by man to date. So the odds of this one being true, not very likely. So let's take the other side. Now keep in mind, most of these magnets are very, very weak. Like I said, they're kitchen magnets, basically. Let's take the opposite. Let's take an MRI. What's an MRI stand for? Magnetic resonance imaging, exactly. These magnets are so mind-bogglingly powerful. They're 200 times more powerful than a kitchen magnet. Now, what does that mean? It means they're so powerful that when doctors first got them, they didn't understand how powerful they were. There are cases where they turn on the MRIs and oxygen tanks whip across the room and injure the people inside the MRI. There are stories of doctors who forget that one's running, walks in with a pen inside his pocket, it tears out of his shirt pocket across the room and impales itself into the leg of the guy in the MRI. MRIs are so freaking powerful that women are not allowed to wear mascara because the magnets pull the mascara off of their freaking faces. And yet, do you know what the #1 use for MRIs to study is? Circulation! If magnets had any effect on blood flow whatsoever, my guess is you couldn't use the most powerful magnets we have to study circulation. How many of you guys have had an MRI? Did you have any severe side effects? Because after all, if you take 1 aspirin to get rid of a headache, what happens if you take 200 aspirin? My guess is that magnets don't do anything. That's just my opinion. But yet, how many of you know somebody who swears by magnet therapy? What's going on here? Let's talk about one other thing, therapeutic touch. Has anyone even heard of therapeutic touch? Anyone heard of this? Do you guys know? Can anyone explain it to me? The idea behind therapeutic touch is that these practitioners, they sense your aura, and they detect your aura, and they arrange your energy in a more pure form so you feel better. It looks like a mime applying suntan lotion. And it's expensive. These guys charge anywhere from $20 to $80 to come wave their hands over to you and make you feel better. And in fact, it's big business too. The Pentagon granted $250,000 to study it. At 80 hospitals in North America, you can pay a lot of money to have people wave their hands over you. And the whole practice was called into question by a 4th grader named Emily Rosa, who took the fundamental tenet of therapeutic touch and questioned it. She said, okay, you detect auras. Well, let's try this. So she got 30 therapeutic touch practitioners, set up a partition, gave them a chance to detect her aura. Oh, yes, yeah, it's an interesting aura you have. And then stick both your hands through there. She flipped a coin and either held her hand over one side or the other and asked which side she detected the aura on. And they always had an answer. Oh, it's on this side. Oh, it's on this side. The results were astounding. The results were 44% accuracy, less than you would have expected by random guessing. Her results were published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. She's the youngest author to ever be published in that publication. And yet, people seem to think, or people who do therapy, has anyone done therapeutic touch? Did it work? Oh, it didn't work for you? Most people will say it would work. Why do these things work if they don't make any sense? Well, our best guess is because it's something, well, actually, first of all, by the way, let's go ahead and since I taught you how to shortchange people, I'm going to teach you guys how to make your own business with any kind of quack remedy. Come up with a crazy therapy, right? No matter what your crazy therapy is, keep in mind that there are only 3 things that can happen with any illness. What are those 3 things? That's right. It either gets better, stays the same, or it gets worse. Well, thank goodness you got 3 built-in responses with any kind of quack thing you want. Let's say I'm going to announce my brand new therapy, Brian's urination therapy. For $100, no matter what your illness is, I will cure it by peeing on your face. All right? It's expensive because there's only so much to go around. All right. Now, wait. You got some lung cancer? Come on over. I'll pee on your face. All right? Oh, your lung cancer went better? Well, thank goodness, it worked. Oh, wait, your cancer is the same? Well, I stopped the progression. And if it gets worse, well, I just need to pee on your face a few more times. So no matter, and you keep doing this over and over and over again until either they die or get better. Either way, you move on to the next guy and you made plenty of money. And that's the idea. Now, part of the reason these things seem to work is also something they call the placebo effect. Who can tell me what a placebo is? Right here.